Portman. I did a talk last year on a trip to the Lowel Observatory in Flagstaff, and then a trip around Arizona. So I went over to Meteor Crater, and then up to Monument Valley through Hopi Reservation, and then over to the Grand Canyon. So I actually enjoyed it so much, and the Lowell Observatory was so unexpected and so fantastic that when I went back to San Francisco again this year for work, I said, I think I'll go to the Lowell Observatory again. So I did, and this time I had 3 nights at the Lowell Observatory. It was clear every single night that I was there, which was amazing. Really, we're so they're so spoiled over there compared to us. But this time, they were building this last year when I was there, and they only opened it in November, late November. They have a whole new visitor center, and it's really fantastic. So the Lowell Observatory is in Flagstaff, Arizona. So it is quite high up. It's 7,300 feet above sea level, and it's surrounded by this ponderosa pine forests, and really fantastic place. But the skies there are incredible. So they've built this Discovery Center, and you can actually see a little bit here, and it runs all the way around, and then all of this is like an observing platform, and they do tours of the night sky, and they had solar scopes when I was there. There's a cafe, shop, those sorts of things. And then when you go out the back of it, you're on the main campus, which was amazing. So, whoops, sorry, let me go back. So this is what it looks like inside. Like, it's quite extensive, but I mean, I think it must be one of the best public observatories in the world at this stage. It's just amazing. So there's a big planetarium in here, and they do talks as well to different astronomers. There's like a kids zone, and then when you go upstairs, there's loads of displays on the history of the observatory, and loads really to see. And then when you go back at the back, this is my favorite bit. There's this open deck observatory, and they have just this smorgasbord of telescopes for public observing, and a different operator on each one. So you can be really lazy and just walk from scope to scope, and they're all on different targets. So they have this refractor here. I went one evening quite early before it got dark, and because I'd been there a few days like previously, one of the staff said, "Have you been here before?" And I said, "Yeah, I was here last night and the night before." So they took me around and showed me all the different eyepieces they have for each of the scopes. So they have some of the 3-inch Explorer Scientifics, which I didn't even know they existed. And then they were telling me about this huge big, it's I think a 12-inch refractor, the big red one here. And it's built on the same proportions as the Clark refractor, and they call it Big Red. It's called the Victorian refractor, but they call it Big Red because apparently Lowell used to drive a red car, so that was why the color of this scope was chosen. And then this one here, which just looks tiny, but it's 140 millimeter fluorite refractor, which was beautiful. 2 big plane waves, a 32-inch Dobsonian, a couple of Meade LX200s of a 12-inch there as well. So there's the refractor, the fluorite one, the big Victorian refractor, and then the big 32-inch Dob. So it was full moon when I was there, which is a little bit disappointing, but the planets were what they were really focusing on, so that wasn't such a disappointment. So they had the most evenings on Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, Mars, and M42, which I saw through the 32-inch one night, and I've never seen anything like it. It was really amazing.
You're catching around brilliantly.
That's just a snap off my phone, but it's Portal 4 because it's the only dark sky city in the world. So they've really maintained their dark skies very well.
Very few people, or is that just that?
That was on the Sunday night, which was really, really quiet. The Saturday night was full of people, but I went up on the Sunday night early and there was barely anybody there. It was fantastic. And the Clark refractor was open and empty. So I had it to myself.
The observatory is just outside the city, Mars Hill.
That's right.
But so have they got like pollution control all over the city?
All over
like
the city.
Tucson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty good.
It's very good.
Because it's much closer to Flagstaff than the Kitt Peak is to Tucson. It's 50 miles away or something.
This is, you can walk to it from Flagstaff. And I did one of the evenings. So you just climbed the hill.
When I was there, it was snowing.
Yes, it was snowing when I was there last year, but actually fine this year, but cold, still cold. Really amazing. When you walk through the city, it's dark, but you can still see where you're going. So all the lights are shaded and down, and there's much less of them than you would see around, cities that we're used to. But still, like, it felt completely safe, not like completely dark or anything. That was just Venus with the refractor, which I thought was nice. You don't see big old-fashioned refractors like that anymore. So that is the Clark Dome, where the Clark refractor is kept. When I was there the first night, it was really busy. There was a queue of people wanting to go in, and I just had a quick look, and the seeing was very poor. It wasn't actually a great night for observing. But when I went back on this night, which was, I think, the second night that I was there was nobody. I mean, it was just, the place was empty. And I just decided to walk up and see if the refractor was open, and it was. And there was a staff member just sitting there with no one doing anything. So she just said, "Oh yeah, sit down. There's nobody here, so take up much time. The great red spot is transiting." And I sat down and looked, and I'll just never do it. So there's Percival Lowell looking through it. And there's me looking through it. But when I looked, it wasn't, oh, where's the great red spot? It was right there. And all the festoons and everything. I have never in my life seen anything like it. It was like a photograph that Damien Peach would take or something. It was really, really incredible.
How big was the image? I don't know. Say,
big. And that I could see. Yeah. Big, a huge, big planet. Not like these tiny little things that I'm used to looking at through my 4-inch refractor. No, nothing like that.
You weren't allowed to put your camera phone up to it?
I tried to, but I couldn't really. I didn't have I had an old iPhone. I've got a new one now, but I had a big Canon, so it wasn't playing ball, but the staff member took a photo of me, which I will treasure.
How big is that?
Okay, so I forget all these things, so I wrote it all down. It is a 24-inch. Oh. I know Terry will know this. It's an F-16. It's 32 feet long, and it's 2 tons just for the scope, not the mouse. It was built in 1895-6 by Alvin Clark himself, and I saw online that it might have been his last scope that he made. It has all the original brass fittings, including the focuser, and the finder scopes are a 4-inch, which I presume is here, and a 12-inch.
Yes, it's like a big toys.
So it's all pretty original, apart from just they had a diagonal and a 55mm fossil on it. That was just a complete bucket list experience to see. His chair is still there. The whole thing was restored in 2023, I believe. And they made a new dome from the ponderosa pine that grows around the observatory, which was lovely. And so it was really in fantastic condition.
Have they kept it as it was? Or have they modernized it?
They've modernized it. The mount it tracks differently. I've forgotten how they've changed it.
Chair.
Yeah.
But you know,
But it's modern tracking.
It's
Pretty rich in the
Yeah.
electric.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like the Vienna one, which is original. Yeah, that was club.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I think other than that, they've kept it as it was, which is great. Oh yeah, and then last year, stupidly, I did not go to see the Pluto. It was very easy to use, and the staff did help with everything. So they set everything up, and all you had to do was look, which was a real treat. So the Pluto dome, I hadn't seen last year. I just missed it. It's sort of hidden at the back of the open deck observatory. So I went up and had a look, and there was a staff member there who took me. They've kind of a display around the lower floor, and then you walk upstairs to the dome proper. And so there's the astrograph. Still, I think that's pretty much original, although it has been restored as well. And there was really nice information downstairs, but also this is the pair of plates with which they discovered Pluto. Yeah. Which was great. So,
It's much of a biography about Lowell.
is there much of a biography?
On display on the dome.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of information. They have a museum as well, which wasn't open when I was there this year, but it was open last year. And I mean, you could have spent hours in it. It was really fantastic. And an original copy of Burnham's Celestial Handbook, not even bound, just loose leaf. Because Burnham, obviously, he worked there as well.
You know,
Yeah.
Let you say the canals on Mars.
No, and I was reading online another scope views. I think he does a lot of interesting reviews of telescopes, and he was saying that he asked them to put the Clark refractor on Mars because he really wanted to see it, and the staff member said, no, there's never anything interesting on Mars.
That's kind of a family 50 secret.
Oh yeah, so this was the last day I went up. My mum was with me on this trip, and she's not into astronomy, so she was dragged. So I went up about 4:00 in the evening, and they had solar scopes set up, which was nice. So they had this. It's a Lunt. The aperture. It was the Lunt 80, and it was on an AZEQ5, which I have as well, but with that really old. The pier, which I'd never seen before, and the whole thing on a trolley, which was very nice. So that was on the top of the Discovery Centre, at the open deck, which was nice. So it was double stacked as well, so it was very nice looking through that. And then I went up onto the open deck observatory, and they had this thing set up, just with white light filter, and it was, I didn't expect to see much, but it was amazing. So I was chatting away to the staff, and they let me make a little video just of what it looked like.
That's just like the sea star.
Just like the sea star. Yeah.
That's it.
What?
That was great. That was actually with my crappy old mobile phone.
Love your video.
I don't know. I cropped it down because I started recording, and then it just didn't work. So
That's an amazing sequence of spots, whatever there.
yeah, we were looking them up on Space Weather and naming them all, and proper nerd stuff, And that's all I have.
Great.